All right. So you know how sometimes when you're looking at a business online, you can actually like see inside,
Yeah.
like take a virtual tour.
Uh-huh.
Today, we're going to dive into all that. It's all about Google Street View, but like specifically for businesses. We've got a ton of info to really break down what it is, how it all works, and, you know, what's in it for businesses, and like some really cool stuff that some businesses are doing with it.
Exactly. What we're zeroing in on is how Google Street View is being used professionally. So it's not just those street level pictures we see in Google Maps. We're talking about these really high quality virtual tours. Like you can go right inside a business and it's not automatic. It's something the owner actually sets up and it hooks right into their Google business profile.
Okay, so this is something businesses are like choosing to do. It's not just Google like doing it for everyone automatically.
Exactly.
Okay.
These tours, they're made by like independent photographers, but they have to be certified by Google. So the business decides they want this, they hire the photographer, and that's where the cost comes in for the business.
Interesting. Okay, so this has been around for a while, right?
Yeah, it has. It actually started in Europe back in 2012. And get this, it was a year earlier in the US. Yeah. So the first name was Virtual Tour for Pros, and the whole idea was for businesses to show off their space online. Back then, Google was really hands-on. They trained and certified all the photographers themselves to make sure everything was good quality.
So Google was like setting the standard from the beginning.
Totally. Yeah. They had this whole process to become an approved photographer, a Google approved photographer.
Fancy.
Right.
So did they get businesses on board right away? Were there any like hiccups or challenges in those early days?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense now, but back then it didn't really take off right away, even though it had so much potential.
I see.
One thing was that Google, they didn't really push it that much, like marketing-wise.
Okay.
And a lot of the photographers who were awesome at taking pictures weren't necessarily like salespeople.
Right, they need to be able to sell it too.
Exactly. And then there were businesses who were hesitant. New technology can be intimidating. And a lot of people just thought, well, Google stuff is usually free. Why am I paying for this?
That makes sense. So how did it all change? How did they get past those early issues?
Well, a lot of changes, actually. Like, even the name changed a few times, which kind of shows how they were shifting gears. In 2014, they switched it to Google Business View. And then in 2016, they changed it again to Google Street View Trusted. And you're probably more familiar with that name now.
Yeah.
But they also like upgraded the tech. It's not just a name change.
Really?
So now you can actually go between different floors in the same tour, which is huge if it's a multi-story building.
That makes sense.
Right. And they added VR mode, both in Google Maps and in the separate Street View app. That was a game changer for how immersive these tours could be.
VR mode, that sounds pretty cool.
It was a big step. But there were more changes even after that. Like in the past few years, they've changed how the whole program works, and that's something anyone thinking about getting a tour should know.
Okay, so what's changed recently?
So since about July 2015, Google's not as strict with the photographers, like their control and the quality checks.
Oh.
So what that means for businesses is that the quality can be different from tour to tour.
I see.
So now it's more important than ever to find a photographer who's really good and has a great portfolio.
So do your research, basically.
Exactly. And Google, they don't assign photographers to specific areas anymore. So you might find photographers willing to travel further for a project.
Makes sense.
And then a really big change happened in April 2017. Get this, Google. They shut down their own publishing platform, like the tool that photographers use to upload and manage all the tours.
Wow, so they just got rid of it.
They did. So now photographers have to use third-party software, which of course costs money, those subscriptions. And because of limitations with the Google API, it actually takes longer and costs more to make those professional Street View tours now.
So Google's still the foundation, but getting a really good tour setup is a bit more complicated and pricey.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So I guess stepping back a bit, why are businesses even bothering with this? I mean, why is Google Street View for businesses still a thing?
Well, it's still super valuable. Like, think about it. If your business is all about the space itself, like a restaurant with a cool vibe, or a store with a unique layout, or a hotel with amazing rooms, you want to show that off to people online.
Yeah, you want people to see what it's like.
Exactly. So for businesses where the atmosphere and the physical space are like part of their brand, Street View is the way to go, but it's way more than just having nice pictures or even a video.
Like pictures and videos can be good. Why is it better?
Because with Street View, you're not just watching, you're interacting.
Oh.
With pictures or videos, you just sit back and look. But with Street View, you can click and drag and zoom. You're in control. It's almost like you're actually there, and that makes it way more engaging. And you connect with the business on a deeper level.
So you can really get a feel for the place before you actually go.
Right. You can check out the layout, the vibe, everything. It's super helpful for people who are doing their research online.
Right.
And it builds trust. When a business is willing to show you everything like that, it shows they're confident in what they offer.
That makes sense. It's like a sneak peek that makes you feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier that it can be like word-of-mouth marketing too.
For sure. If someone loved a place, they can share the virtual tour with their friends and family. It's like showing off the place, not just saying, oh, it was great.
Right. You're not just telling them, you're showing them.
Exactly.
So who benefits the most from this? What types of businesses see the biggest return?
Well, the obvious ones are hotels and restaurants. When you're booking a hotel or picking a place to eat, it's a big deal to actually see what the lobby or the rooms or the dining area look like.
Yeah, it makes you feel more confident about your choice.
Totally. And hotels that use their virtual tours, well, they see a return on their investment really fast.
Makes sense. People do a ton of research online for travel and restaurants. What about other industries?
Yeah, so business centers and co-working spaces, those benefit a lot too. If you're looking for office space, you can use a virtual tour to see the environment, the facilities, the whole vibe without actually going there.
Right. You can see if it's the right fit for you.
Uh-huh. And retail too, like clothing stores, specialty food shops, furniture stores. Street View can help bring online shoppers into the actual store. They get a feel for the in-store experience and are more likely to actually visit.
So it connects the online world with the physical store.
Exactly. And then there are showrooms like for kitchens or cars. Those usually have high-end stuff, and a virtual tour means people can see it even when the showroom's closed. And for places that update their inventory, often like car dealerships with new models, they can update their Street View tour to show off the newest stuff.
Yeah, it's like keeping their online presence up to date.
Totally. And it's not just about sales. It's great for beauty and wellness businesses, healthcare providers, gyms, all sorts of service industries.
No, right.
If you're trying to decide on a spa or a gym or even a doctor, being able to see the space beforehand builds a lot of trust.
It shows they're legit and professional.
Exactly. And even industrial clients. They can show off their factories, labs, production units to attract talent. And some companies even use private internal tours just for their own teams, like to keep track of product displays and store layouts across different locations.
Wow, I never thought about that. That's pretty cool. So what makes a really effective Google Street View tour? Like, what are the key things to look for?
Well, the most important thing is that it's easy to navigate. The tour should flow naturally and make it really simple to explore the space. You don't want it to be jumpy or confusing.
Right, it should feel seamless.
Yeah. And compared to older virtual tours, Google Street View uses these really wide panoramas, so you get a much better sense of the space. It feels more real.
Okay. And what about cost? You mentioned it earlier, but what are the main things that affect how much it costs?
So it's actually pretty affordable, especially when you consider what you get out of it. The main cost is the photographer's fee, and that depends on how many panoramas you need to cover the whole space. And the good thing is Google provides all the tech stuff and hosting for free if your business qualifies. So you're just paying the photographer.
Okay. So let's break down the whole process. What are the steps involved for a business owner who wants one of these tours?
So first you'll have a meeting with the photographer. This is super important to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Right, you need to figure out what you want.
Exactly. We'll talk about what you want to show, how you want the tour to flow, how many panoramas you'll need, and if there are any extra things you want to add.
So it's like a planning session.
Then you'll need to prep the space, make sure it's clean and organized and looking its best for the photo shoot. Depending on the business, you might need to stage things a bit to highlight certain features.
Makes sense.
And if it's a big tour, it's really helpful to have a floor plan. You can map out exactly where each panorama will be.
That way you don't miss anything.
Right. And then the fun part, the photo shoot. Photographers, they use all this special equipment, HDR cameras, fisheye lenses, panoramic heads, tripods, all that jazz.
So not just your average point-and-shoot camera.
Definitely not. And they take a bunch of pictures from different angles for each panorama, like a dozen or so. And some photographers even stage scenes with people to make the tour feel more alive.
And that's a good idea.
Yeah. And after the photo shoot comes the editing. All those pictures get stitched together into seamless 360 panoramas. Then the photographer puts the panoramas on Google Maps and links them all together.
So that's where the magic happens.
Uh-huh. And you usually get a set of regular high-res pictures, too, not just the panoramas.
That's a nice bonus.
Yeah. The whole editing process takes about a week.
Okay. So the tour's up on Google. What's next? What should the business do to make sure it gets seen?
That's where the real work begins.
Right, you got to promote it.
Exactly. The photographer should show you how to put the tour on your website, on your Facebook page, even in your email signature. You can use it in QR codes for printed stuff and share direct links. And of course, don't forget about the VR mode on the Street View and Maps apps.
So it's about using the tour everywhere you can.
Pretty much. Now let's talk about the marketing benefits. Like, why is this good for your business?
Yeah, tell me about the marketing wins.
So one big thing, especially in places where everyone uses Google, like France, is that a lot of businesses, they're not using their Google business profile to its full potential. Street View changes that. It makes your physical space into a marketing tool right on Google.
So it's like maximizing your presence on Google.
Yeah, and it builds trust. When people can actually see inside your business, they feel like they know you better. And they're more likely to choose you over someone they know nothing about.
It's like removing the doubt.
Right, and it makes you stand out in search results. Businesses with a Street View tour, they often get a See Inside label on their Google search and Maps listings.
I've seen that. It definitely catches your eye.
Totally. And it's super versatile. You can use it on your website, your Facebook page, your email signature, QR codes, social media, you name it.
So it's a real marketing workhorse.
It is. But it gets even better. There's so much more you can do with it beyond the basic tour.
Yeah, I know you can add interactive stuff and branding. Tell me about that.
So one thing is personalization. You can add your logo and brand colors to the tour interface. It makes it look more professional and consistent. And you can improve navigation. You can add custom menus so people can jump to specific areas of the tour. And some even have interactive floor plans, so it's easy to find your way around, especially in bigger places.
Oh, the floor plans are a great idea.
They are, although right now there's a bug on Google's end that messes with the custom arrow labels, so keep that in mind.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
But the coolest stuff has to be the multimedia info bubbles.
Info bubbles, what are those?
They're like interactive pop-ups that you put inside the panorama. When someone clicks on something or looks in a certain direction, an info bubble pops up.
I see.
And they can have all sorts of stuff. Text images, audio clips, even videos. It's way more engaging than just plain text.
So you're giving people extra information right when they need it.
Exactly. There are different types of info bubbles, too. Some pop up automatically when you enter a panorama, some appear when you click on something, and others show up when you look in a specific direction.
That's cool. It's like having a tour guide right there with you.
Yeah. And you can add direct links, too. These are like hot spots that can take you to a web page or a photo gallery or a video or even a PDF brochure. You can use them to jump between different panoramas, too.
So you're making the tour super informative and easy to use.
Right. And for the ultimate experience, you can even use VR mode. With a simple headset and your phone, you can really feel like you're inside the space.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
It is. And the best part is you can track everything with Google Analytics. You can see what people are clicking on, what they're interested in. It's super valuable data.
That's awesome. So what about the cost of all these fancy features?
Well, it depends on what you want and how many features you add. But usually it's a one-time cost and then a small yearly fee for hosting and maintenance. And the data shows that these enhanced tours, they really do work. They keep people engaged and lead to more customers.
So it's worth the investment.
Definitely. You can work with a marketing agency, or there are companies like Visit 360 Pro that specialize in this stuff. And the results are impressive. Tours with info bubbles keep people engaged for twice as long as basic tours.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, but there's even more. Some businesses are taking it to the next level. They're building entire websites out of their virtual tours.
Wait, really? Like 360 websites?
Yeah, it's like you're stepping right into the business when you visit their website. And it can be cheaper than building a regular website.
How is that possible?
Because the virtual tour is already done. So they just build a website around it. And these 360 websites, they rank really well on Google. People spend more time on them, and Google likes that.
That's amazing. So it's like the virtual tour becomes the whole website.
Pretty much. So to sum it all up, what do you need to know about Google Street View for businesses?
Give me the rundown.
Okay. When it's done right, especially with all those extra features, it's an amazing tool. It gives potential customers a real honest look at your business online before they even visit. And that's huge these days. People rely on online info so much before they buy anything.
So it's a real game changer for businesses.
Totally. And the key is to make it interactive. Don't just stick with the basic tour. Add info bubbles and other features to answer people's questions and keep them engaged. That's how you turn online interest into actual customers.
So it's all about creating an experience.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fascinating. It makes you think about how much this tech is going to change things. I mean, the lines between the real world and the online world are getting blurrier and blurrier. It's really exciting. Thanks for diving into this with me today.
My pleasure.
All right, that's it for this deep dive. We'll catch you in the next one.